we have created Just Ice Arena because we wanted to create a revenue stream for you.
But let's be real. This isn't the first time Tiffany Henyard has thrown her daughter's name into the spotlight. Nope.
I'm now opening up Just Ice Courts tomorrow.
Not even close. She's got a track record of stamping the name Justice on projects, events, and initiatives like it's some kind of brand logo. Whether it's a business, a foundation, or a public program, she's been weaving that name into the narrative for a while now. It's almost like she's trying to turn her child's name into a personal legacy, or worse, a marketing tool. Let's talk about Just Ice Courts for a second. Now, if she had gone with Justice Courts, named after her daughter Justice, cool. A little extra? Sure, but at least it makes sense. It'd be on brand for her whole devoted mother thing. But no, she didn't call them Justice Courts. She called them Just Ice Courts. And y'all, these are basketball courts. Not a hockey rink, not a snow park. Basketball. So tell me, where exactly is the ice? What's the connection? What was the reason? Because I'm sitting here trying to figure out how we went from honoring her daughter to pretending we're playing hoops in the middle of Antarctica. And of course, she hits us with the same line every time. I love my community. Y'all come first. But let's be real. Who's really coming first here? Because if we're keeping it honest, the only name that keeps showing up on these projects is her daughter's. It's justice that feels a lot less like community service and a lot more like a vanity tour. Oh, and before we go further, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. I want to know what y'all think about this one because I swear, every day I learn something new about Tiffany, and not in a good way. Just last night, I came across something else, and let me tell you, it's wild. So we all already know about the Just Ice Rink, right? That name actually made sense at one point, since there was, actual ice. The wordplay was a little forced, but fine. We gave her a pass. She said it would bring in revenue for the village, and because she's so into branding everything around her daughter, she stamped Just Ice right on it. But even that didn't go smoothly. Remember her trying to read that line off the teleprompter? We bring to you Just Ice Rink. Girl, it was supposed to be one smooth sentence. We bring to you Just Ice Rink. Simple, but she made it sound like a weather report gone wrong. Like, come on, Tiffany. You got the cameras, the platform. At least rehearse the line once or twice. And let's not forget, the rink isn't even an ice rink anymore. It's just wheels now. No ice, no chill, no just ice to speak of. So the name doesn't even fit anymore. But whatever, we shrugged it off at the time because at least the name kind of worked back then. But here's the kicker. Apparently that wasn't even the first Justice-themed facility she rolled out. I just found out there's another one. Came before the ice rink. And y'all, I couldn't believe it. Turns out those basketball courts over at the same complex? Yeah, they're called Just Ice Courts. Another one. Another tribute to her daughter. And now I'm asking the same question you probably are. How many more are there? How many buildings, programs, or projects have quietly been branded with her daughter's name while being sold to the public as for community? And here's where it gets even weirder. If Tiffany and Trustee Holmes are the only two constantly patting themselves on the back for doing things for people, then Holmes got kids too, right? Wouldn't he want to name something after his? Why is it always Tiffany's daughter getting the spotlight? Why is every community resource slowly turning into a monument for one child? Anyway, let me show y'all exactly what I found last night. It blew my mind. And if there are more justice-branded projects out here, then we really need to ask, is this leadership or just one big ego trip in tracksuit? Let's talk about Just Ice Courts, because, yeah, it's weird, and not just a little weird. Why weird? First off, there's no ice. Zero. Nada. These are basketball courts, not hockey rinks, not some winter-themed event space. Just regular outdoor basketball courts. So the name makes absolutely no sense. Now, if she had named them Justice Courts, because her daughter's name is Justice, I'd roll my eyes, sure. Still self-indulgent. But at least it would make sense. There'd be a straight line between intention and execution. But just ice courts? For basketball? Where's the ice, Tiffany? What exactly are we doing?
Hey guys, it's Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the People's Mayor, and I am so excited about my vision finally coming to life. I am now opening up Just Ice Courts tomorrow.
And here's the kicker. It's not like the name was part of a larger brand rollout, following the ice rink. Nah, these courts came before the rink. So even the series theory doesn't hold water. You can't say, oh, she's trying to create a line of justice-themed amenities. Nope, this came first. So what's the logic? What's the vision? Just ice courts because she thought it sounded clever? Or maybe she just really likes that wordplay. Except there's no wordplay if it doesn't connect. So it ends up being weird branding slapped on top of empty symbolism. Again, then there was that ribbon-cutting ceremony over on 144th and Greenwood. She told people to come out between 5 to 7. Be part of the solution, not the problem. Talked about how her work speaks for itself, how much she loves her community. And of course, that line again, you come first. Except, clearly justice comes first. Because everything gets named after her. Everything's for her. And honestly, it's starting to feel like Tiffany sees the writing on the wall. Like she knows time's running out. And now she's scrambling to leave some kind of legacy behind for her daughter, just in case. You know how people do when they feel the end creeping up? They start trying to stamp their name on things. Trying to build monuments before the curtain drops. That's what this feels like. Only in Tiffany's case, she's not facing death. She's potentially facing jail. And here's what's tragic. These aren't legacy projects. These are liabilities. They're going to turn into stains, not symbols. Her daughter isn't going to inherit pride from these things. She's going to inherit embarrassment. These gifts are going to be baggage. People are going to associate them with scandal, not legacy. And honestly, that's sad for the kid, not for Tiffany. I don't feel bad for her. I don't like her. I'm not going to fake it. But I'll give her this. She's endlessly entertaining. And every time she crashes and burns, I get to talk about it. I get to watch it. And sometimes, yeah, I laugh. So thanks for that, Tiff. Appreciate you. Now back to that ice rink. She opens it, names it just ice rink, again after her daughter. Except this time, she turns it into some exclusive VIP event space for her and her crew. Remember that Valentine's Day setup? Heated tent in the center of the rink. Tiffany in the middle looking like she just stepped off a BET Awards carpet. Meanwhile, the rest of the town? Freezing outside the barricades. And the cost? Still unclear. But you can bet your last dollar it wasn't free to get in. I mean, what even was that event? You're hosting a public skating night, but sectioning off a private heated dome for yourself in the middle? With the DJ? Like, why? And that look she gave during the event? Phew, that was something. It was giving blink twice if you need help energy. Like, yeah, she looked nice and all, but the energy? Off. It felt like even she knew this was all too much. Meanwhile, outside the rink, folks are just watching from the cold like spectators at her coronation. And of course, there's Kamal right there in the tent with her. Cozy, protected, center of attention. That's the pattern. Tiffany can't stand not being the main character. She has to be in the middle, literally and symbolically. It's like she's building a world where everything revolves around her and her daughter. She's got the courts, the rink, the parties, all named Just Ice. But now I'm wondering, what else is out there? How many more things has she secretly branded with her daughter's name? Because I found out Just Ice Courts came first. And now I'm like, what else is floating around? Oh, and don't forget, Tiffany once said on record that she wanted to open a museum. A Tiffany Henyard museum. No shame, no filter. And what would go in it? Just her quotes, her face, her legacy. And of course, your tax dollars would have paid for it. Imagine that. A publicly funded shrine to herself. Meanwhile, people outside her events are freezing. Literally. No access. No support. Just optics. Everything Tiffany builds, she puts her daughter's name on it. And in her mind, that's smart branding. That's legacy. But when the dust settles, and it will, what's really left? A string of projects that nobody respects, all tied to her name and her scandals. Her daughter won't get to carry pride. She'll carry weight. And you know what? If Tiffany really wanted a legacy, she could have just named things after herself. Own it. The Henyard Rink. The Tiffany Center. Henyard Courts. I'd still call it self-absorbed, but at least it'd be honest. But she didn't. She tried to hide behind her daughter's name to make it look like it was all love, all community. And that's the problem. That's why people are calling it out. And let's be real. If it's all about community, why is it always her kid getting the spotlight? What about Holmes? He's been right there with her this whole time. Don't he have kids? Why isn't anything named after them? Nope. Everything points right back to Justice. Always. Now, Kamal, that's a whole other story. Because from the outside looking in, it feels like ever since he showed up for Tiffany when she was in the hospital, he's been riding that one gesture straight into power. That's how opportunists work. They show up during your lowest moment, make one big move, and suddenly they're family. And people like Tiffany, they confuse that kind of presence with loyalty. So she gave him access to everything. And that's dangerous. You don't put people in charge of your life or your child just because they did one nice thing once. So here's my message. Don't be like Tiffany. Don't attach your child's name to every shady project just to feel important. That's not legacy. That's liability. And it's not fair to the kid. If you really want your name to mean something, build with integrity, create something real, and stop making everything a photo op. Tiffany, if you ever see this, do better. No shade, just truth. Do better. And to everyone else, stay sharp, stay loud, stay active. And as always, Mama loves you. Peace.